What's up, you guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fit Women's Weekly podcast. Welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the party. I hope that over the course of this episode, you hear something that sparks your interest and you go, this chick sounds pretty cool. I want to get to know her more. And you go check out either past episodes or you can continue to come back for weekly episodes. I do a new podcast every week, every Wednesday, and every Friday. And I post one every week on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, what's up? And let me know down in the comments. I was also thinking, and this is because of for future episodes, and when I go and actually talk about what today's topic is, if you're a listener to this podcast, what age group are you in? 20s, low 30s, 40s, 50s? Let me know, because some of the stuff that I'm actually going to be talking about today, I'm like, does everybody know what this is? Or do I need to explain some things a little bit more in detail depending on where you are in that age bracket? Are you a Zer? Are you a young millennial? Are you a Oregon Trail millennial like myself? Are you a Y or boomer? Where do you fall in? Let me know. Or Gen X? There's no Y, there's an X. Anyways, comment, let me know, or drop into my DMs over on Instagram, Kendall Boyle Fitness. Now, you guys, listen, in today's episode, we are going to cover some life stuff because I was not on social media last week. I was not on YouTube last week. I did not post last week's podcast up on YouTube. And so you guys deserve an explanation. I'm going to talk a little bit about it and the updates with that. I am going to go over an update that Dan and I are bringing into our life. And if you would like to join us, it would be really fun. And then I'm also going to obviously talk about the workout of the day. And then we're going to talk about something going on in the news right now. I think that this is something that I might bring to the podcast once or twice a month, where I read a news article to you and then we break it down. We give our opinions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this particular topic. And I'm going to share some personal stuff of why I think it's a good thing, why I think it's a bad thing. And I know that I'm keeping you guys on the edge of your seats right now wondering, what is it that you're going to talk about? But it will all be revealed here in just a second. So first off, I was not on social media much last week. Everything that I posted was stuff that I'd actually previously recorded. And that's because I did a face peel. And I talked about this on the podcast last week on the audio version. So if you did hear it, then consider this your update. So last weekend, I did a face peel by Musely, which is a brand that I kept seeing pop up on my social media, on my Instagram feed, I think even on my TikTok feed, definitely on my Facebook feed. And it's because for over the past 2 years, I've been looking for some sort of solution to my melasma, which is just dark spotting on the face. It's common in a lot of women. It's most common due to hormone imbalances, people that are on birth control or pregnancy. So, and plus for me, I live in the South. I've been out in the sun all of my life. I lifeguarded all through high school, half of college, and grew up on the water, my parents have a pool. So sun damage plus hormonal birth control really did a number, especially on my forehead and on my upper cheeks. I've had freckles my whole life, so I don't mind my freckles, but I definitely wanted to get rid of those sunspots and that melasma. So I've been trying a lot of different things over the counter, stuff that I would just find at Ulta, and nothing worked. So I tried the brand Musely, and I have absolutely no tie to them. I wish that I got paid by them. Maybe that's a deal I can try to work on. Anyway, it is run by dermatologists. You have to apply for it. You have to send pictures, tell about what prescriptions that you're on right now, and then they write you a prescription and they mail it to you in the mail. And so I signed up for their peel and their nightly spot cream. So their peel I put on Saturday, and you had to wear it for 8 to 10 hours. So I woke up at 5 a.m. to take it off the following morning, and my face was fine. And then as the day wore on, it looked like I laid my face on the surface of the sun. It was super bright red, slightly sensitive, like a light sunburn, but nothing too crazy by any means. But that took me out. Y'all didn't want to see that last week. It was not pretty. I did post pictures each day in my social media stories, but definitely nothing in the feed that will live on forever. So it was red all Sunday. It was red all Monday. Tuesday, it started to get a little bit better. And then by Wednesday, my face started to peel. And I don't mean flaky peel. When it said that was a side effect, I was expecting like flaky, dry skin. No, this was like sunburn peel, where it was like pieces coming off. very satisfying if you are somebody that is a quote unquote picker like myself. And then on Wednesday, I was also able to start using the spot cream, which is you just put it on nightly, about a pea-size amount all over your face. So it's been 1 week, and so I thought that I would share my updates. If you guys are looking on YouTube, you might be able to see. And I would say there's absolutely already a visible difference in my melasma, especially on my forehead. On my sides, I do still have some of my sunspots. We haven't noticed too much of a lightning difference in those yet, but it could take up to 30 days for the peel to fully work. And then obviously with the night cream, it's gonna take some time. So I'm looking at this as I do with my fitness and my health, as if I'm not expecting overnight results. I did not get laser treatment. I did a chemical peel, and I'm treating this as part of my skincare routine that over time, hopefully, I will start to see better and better results. And I'm hoping within the next 2 months that I'll be able to look in the mirror and really start to tell a difference in myself and go, oh my gosh, my skin is finally clearing up and looking like how it should be at my age. And I feel like as great of care as I take with the other parts of my body, with my gut health and my immune system and my rest and my muscles and my cardio activity, that I want to treat my skin like I would anything else. So this is kind of my skin journey as I get older. And yeah, so far I'm seeing some great results only after a week. I did notice a bit of a breakout. I had some breakouts in my cheeks. And I'm just contributing that to the fact that the peel probably pulled up some of the dirt and grime that was in my pores and just kind of irritated the skin a little bit, but those are starting to clear up, and I'm hoping that over the next 30 to 60 days, big difference. But I will definitely keep you guys posted. I am taking pictures throughout this journey, so at the end, I'll be able to share that with you. So yeah, and then I'm allowed to do the peel every 3 to 6 months. So we'll see if I need to do it again after this 3 months journey is up. So yeah, I've had a lot of people reach out to me after I've been posting the pictures and going, what was that brand again? It is Musely, M-U-S-E-L-Y. And I specifically use their spot peel and their spot cream, but they have a lot of different options. They also have stuff for hair loss. So definitely check them out. So far, I'm a fan, but I will keep you posted. The other thing that I wanted to update you guys on, and this is more fitness related, well, and healthy habits related, is that I, myself, and my husband are gonna start implementing 30-day hard challenges. Not for the fact that we need to be healthier, that we need to be stronger by any means, but I do think that it's really important to have some self-discipline in life. And sometimes when things seem so out of control, when you pick one thing to focus on to get better, it helps give you that power of control in a healthy way, versus we all know me personally, when I seek to have control and I want to discipline myself, I have a habit of over exercising, or the past Kindle, the 20-year-old Kindle and the early 30 Kindle would take control of her nutrition a little bit too much. So these little fun challenges are more to show that we can be disciplined, but we can also turn that focus onto something healthy that can make a positive impact on our life versus breaking us down or causing even more stress in the long run. So for example, the past 30 days, and it'll actually be up this Friday, my husband, Dan, I don't know why I keep saying my husband as if I never talk about him, Dan gave up alcohol for the past 30 days, him and his sister. And I'm not a big alcohol drinker. I drink maybe 1 or 2 glasses of wine on the weekend. So while I did it with him, just because I'm not gonna drink a glass of wine by myself, I did go out to dinner with my mom this past weekend and I had a drink with her. That was my first drink, and that'll be my only drink until we go out on Friday. But he wanted to do it for himself because he is a little bit more of a heavier drinker. He was a 1 to 3 glasses of wine, if you would probably average out 5 days a week kind of person. And he was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to come home from work and say, I deserve a glass of wine. And that's kind of where it was getting, like, oh, today was hard at work. I deserve a glass of wine. Oh, traffic was hard at work. I deserve a glass of wine. Oh, I'm tired. I deserve a glass of wine. Oh, I worked really hard during my workout. I deserve a glass of wine. So it was just a way for him to prove himself that he doesn't need that glass of wine. And so yeah, he's made it 30 days, and he came to me last night and said, I'm not necessarily gonna keep this going, but I do think it would be fun if every 30 days we focus on something different to test ourselves with. And I'm all about that. Him personally, I think he's told me last night he's gonna focus on trying to do a 10-minute workout at least every day for 30 days because he does work a 9 to 5 like so many of you guys. And with that, it can be like I'm stuck in traffic or I'm tired. So his workout has been one of those things to get kind of put on the side burner from time to time. So one way to help just increase the intensity and get him back into being like, okay, this is a non-negotiable, is to start small. So 10 minutes a day on the days where he has more time, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays are normally his longer days during the week, and then he'll work out normally either on Saturday or Sunday for longer as well. He'll still put in that normal workout time. So really, he's only adding more of a commitment on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it's only 10 minutes. That's not enough to push yourself into overreaching or overtraining by any means. He'll still have plenty of time to train, especially with his sort of job. He probably only gets about 5,000 steps a day, if even that. So by doing 10 minutes of fitness a day is really just equivalent to 10 minutes of movement. And I think that that would be great for him. And I am all about camaraderie and teamwork. So if he's doing something like that, then absolutely, I'll join in something as well. So 30-day hard, it's way better than what that 70-day hard or whatever. I don't think that you should be working out 2 times a day. I don't think that you should be eating and drinking and focusing on all those crazy habits that the 75 hard does. But one thing for 30 days. For me personally, I think I might do 30 days of 100 ab wheels a day. That's something that I've done before, and it's still just short enough where it doesn't really take up a lot of my day, but it does take a commitment to get it done. So yeah, let me know. Or I'm either thinking that or 30 days of no chewing gum, which I am a gum addict. So that would actually be really, really hard for me. So if you're up for it, let me know, shoot me an email, slide into my DMs, and let me know what your 30-day hard would be. So yeah, I'm still kind of trying to decide. I think our next 30-day hard will start on this coming up Monday, whatever. I don't even know what day that is. I don't know what today is. Today is the 8th, maybe, I think. So 8 plus 7, 14. So next week would be like the 13th it starts. So if you want to join me, let me know. All right, so that's what's going on. And then the last thing before we jump into the real topic, the news article for the day, is your workout of the day. And this is something that I did yesterday with one of my girlfriends. It was an awesome workout. I am feeling it today. It doesn't take much equipment at all, but you will absolutely get a burn by the end, and it is total body. So part number 1, go ahead, well first, grab a pen and paper so that you don't have to rewind and keep listening back to this, but maybe you'll remember it's not too complicated. So part 1 is 5 rounds as quickly as you can. You want to try to get this done in under 5 minutes. It's 10 goblet squats, so you are going to use a weight. We use a 40-pound dumbbell, and 10 step-ups into 10 lunge jumps. The step-ups and the lunge jumps are body weight, and that's specifically more because my knee is still healing and recovering, but if you want to do those step-up weighted, absolutely, but you still are going to try to push that clock. So 5 rounds, 10 squats, 10 step-ups, 10 lunge jumps. After that, you go out and you run a half a mile or 800 meters. Yeah. It's a little bit of a burner. Then you're gonna come back in and you're gonna knock out 200 push-ups as fast as you can. But here's the kicker. And this may have been the part of last week's workout because I did something similar last week as well. Can you tell that I'm working on my push-up volume? So 200 push-ups as fast as you can. However, every time you rest with your knees on the ground, you have to stop and do overhead presses. So you can stop and pause and hold like a downward dog. You can hold a plank position. But the second that you fail and you have to drop down to your belly or drop down to your knees, that set is done. And you're gonna stop and you're gonna knock out overhead presses, starting with 3 per side. And you want them to be kind of heavy. Again, we went with 40 pounds for this. And then every time you have to stop, your reps for your overhead presses go up by 1. So maybe you do 30 push-ups your first time before you break. You're gonna do 3 overhead presses. You're gonna go do more push-ups. Maybe you break at 75 total, not a set of 75. You're gonna do 4 overhead presses per side and keep on going until you get to 200. And I would love to hear what rep set did you finish on for your overhead presses. I think I was able to do it, trying to remember yesterday, I think I did it all in 1, 2, I think I did 7 presses per side, maybe 8 presses per side. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I did it in 5 sets altogether. So yeah, I was pretty proud of that. But if you do it, let me know. So 5 rounds, 10 squats, 10 step-ups, 10 lunge jumps, half a mile run into 200 push-ups, but every rest is overhead presses, starting with 3 per side, and it goes up by 1. Good luck, film yourself, or just slide in and let me know that you get it done. All right, now here we go. Here's my idea. I would love to start bringing to the table fitness news, nutrition news, and share it with you guys because I think that we should all be in the know, but also hear your opinions on things. What are your thoughts on this? Specifically today, we are going to talk about WeightWatchers and the WeightWatchers CEO that says Ozempic Air signals the end of diet culture. Could we be so lucky? So first off, I'm going to just read the article, and then as we go through it, I'll kind of give my thoughts on it. And then I am going to share a little bit of information on Ozempic, of the pros and the cons. And yeah, and we're going to leave it from there. So let's jump into this. This was posted in Finance News by Yahoo. And I'm sure it was posted in a whole bunch of other places as well. But it was written by Maria Aspen. I will give her credit. And it says, "The end of dieting. Ozempic is everywhere these days. Award shows, Subway abs, and all the headlines. And the ballooning bottom line of the pharmaceutical companies selling the new class of related weight loss drugs. But the big pharma gold rush has created a more complicated landscape for another big business, the $800 billion weight loss industry." Y'all, oh, not 800, 80, which is still a lot of money. $80 billion. For decades, companies like WeightWatchers, Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, and Noom have made billions of dollars by preaching diets, exercise, behavioral changes, and above all, willpower. But now it's much easier and often more effective to just take a weekly shot of Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, or another so-called miracle drug. As customers embrace the pharma alternatives to their traditional businesses, WeightWatchers and Noom are trying to pivot. We're admitting that, this is what the WeightWatchers CEO says, "We're admitting that we're learning, that the science has evolved, and therefore we should as well." That was said by Simi Sistani about her company's March deal to buy Sequence, a telehealth business that allows patients to obtain virtual prescriptions to the new weight loss drugs. 2 months later, Noom officially unveiled Noom Med, a similar telehealth platform. I spoke with executives at both companies, as well as customers, doctors, analysts, and longtime diet industry experts for a new Fortune feature for the impact of Ozempic Air in the traditional weight loss industry. Even Dr. Linda Inagawa, Noom's chief medical officer, predicts we're probably looking at the demise of dieting. Could we be so lucky? Is this a business story? Of course. WeightWatchers and Noom have both struggled financially in recent years, while 40-year-old Jenny Craig just shut down and then sold its brand to Nutrisystem's parent company, but is also a cultural and societal one. Anyone who's ever had the joy of dieting knows how boring, hard, and emotionally fraught it is, and it's also near impossible to succeed long term. The average dieter regains more than 80% of lost weight within 5 years, according to one meta-analysis of 29 long-term weight loss studies. And yeah, let me say that again. The average dieter regains more than 80% of their weight loss within 5 years. But those results haven't kept the dieting industry from making billions of dollars for years by selling products that fundamentally aren't permanent solutions. Well, that's why they're making money, right? Because people are losing all this weight, then they gain it back, and then they just go on this cyclic platform. So these business pivots raise plenty of outstanding questions, like Ozempic Air's long-term side effects for investors and executives at WeightWatchers and Noom, for their shrinking employees, for their customers, and the society at large. I do see this as the end of the diet culture. The focus has shifted from weight loss to weight health, acknowledges Sistani, who became WeightWatchers CEO in 2022. However, she's quick to argue that her 60-year-old company will always be an important part of achieving this new kind of health. I want to be clear that the way you achieve it is through weight loss. All right, so let's break this down. First off, what is this saying? This is basically saying that WeightWatchers and Noom, these really big companies that we've probably have all grown up with at some point and known people that have done it, are moving away from teaching people about nutrition, because even though WeightWatchers was about counting calories and counting points, at the end of the day, without people sometimes even realizing it, they were learning about nutrition. They were learning about what makes their bodies feel good, what are proper portion sizes. Well, they're moving away from educating people about lifestyle changes and moving in to the pharmaceutical world, because we all know how profitable that is. So it looks to me that Ozempic will now be provided by companies like WeightWatchers and Noom. And here's the thing that gets me. And you can talk to any dietitian out there, even hopefully some doctors, Ozempic has a place in this world. It's been around for a really long time to help people with diabetes and pre-diabetes. So now that it's moving into the diet culture, before, even when people were using it to lose weight, it was a side effect to help with other health conditions, right? And now these people are profiting even more. So to say that dieting is gone is ridiculous to me. Basically, what this article is saying is, no, we're just pivoting. We're going from teaching people about lifestyle changes to say, hey, now let me show you an easier way to diet where you don't have to worry about those things, because pharmaceuticals in the pharmaceutical world is going to help you cut calories easier, which is a diet, right? It's now called the Ozempic diet because you don't have to learn those things. It's just naturally going to help cut your calories. You're going to lose your appetite. Your brain, it has been shown with taking Ozempic, doesn't have those mental cravings like you used to, which is a great thing. When there are some people that wake up thinking about food, and Ozempic just makes that not happen. And I know that because I have people very close in my life whose doctor have put them on it, and that has been what they have said. They said, the number one thing for me is a feeling of food freedom, that I no longer think about one meal to the next. I no longer finish a meal going, wow, I need a dessert, or wow, I could really eat an extra cookie. And for that is pretty cool. But at the end of the day, when it says that 80% of people gain their weight back, there's not enough data out there yet to support what happens when these Ozempic patients get off. Because I do think at the heart of it, most people do not want to be on medication for the long run, right? So if you use Ozempic or something like this, and you lose, let's say 50 pounds, and you feel great on it, you're going to want to naturally get off. But what happens when you get off of something like Ozempic? Well, you no longer have those drugs in your system that are suppressing your appetite, and you're going to start building up a normal, healthy appetite again that you should have. And so you're no longer going to be cutting your meals in half anymore. You're going to start eating like a quote unquote normal person. I'm not even saying that you're overeating. However, you are going to be eating a lot more calories than what you were used to. And guess what we're going to see? We're going to see those people gaining weight back again. And so then the cycle is just continuing on, just in a different way. So in another year, when the weight comes back, they're going to go back to WeightWatchers, to Noom, to their doctor, whoever prescribed it to them in the first place, and want to get back on again. And they're going to feel defeated and be like, I couldn't take this off. And it's not their fault. It was just that the drug was so powerful that they were able to live off of 1,200 calories. And when they're off the drug, they're not, because their body was literally in a starvation diet mode, because diet culture is still around, that they're going to regain the weight back again. So I just don't think that there's enough research yet for all of these lifestyle brands, which I use lifestyle brands very loosely, but all of these diet brands that we're trying to teach healthy eating habits, I don't think there's enough there yet to say that that's no longer going to exist, right? Because if anything, I think that there needs to be some kind of lifestyle program that helps patients once they do get off. Because as of right now, everything that I have read and studied shows that these patients that are on Ozempic are going to have to stay on at least a very low dose for possibly the rest of their life. And if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s, that's a really, really long time to be pumping diabetic medicine into your body when you are not a diabetic, right? And so you kind of have to wonder, what are the long-term effects of this? So I just found this article super interesting. Again, I am not against things like Ozempic. I do think that, like I said, it's really powerful to no longer feel controlled, because food at the end of the day is a drug, but it's also something that we need. So it's not like you can just go sober off of food, right? Because that's not going to be healthy. That's obviously not the answer. So I know that that feeling has to be amazing, to feel as if you are now in control versus food being in control. But is there another way going about this? And is diet actually gone in the long run? So here are a couple of my concerns with things like Ozempic, and from a health expert, and this is while you're on it. And maybe, again, I'm not saying if you're on it that you are doing things wrong. It might be the answer for you at this point, but I am saying that you should be talking to your doctor about what is the long-term plan, what's going to happen next, and also bring up these points to talk to your doctor with, to help you. So number one, long-term results, which I think I just very well talked about that. Number two, the metabolic damage that you've done. Because you're eating at such low calories, your body is going to work to adjust to that. So even when you start to eat normal, if you're eating 1,000 calories now and you start eating 1,500 calories when you're off, which is still not very many calories, your body is going to be in a much lower state of metabolic health, so that even eating at 1,500 calories could put you at a over calorie number where you're going to gain weight, right? So yeah, the metabolic damage that you're doing to your body. And metabolic health is really important for protein synthesis, for hormonal health, for hair, nails. Every single synthesis in your body runs from your metabolic health. So if you're in poor metabolic health, your other systems aren't going to be working effectively. And not to mention the fact of muscle loss. And this is something that I kept reading over and over while I was doing research for this podcast, because my first thought was, when you're in such a big caloric deficit, when you're probably not going to have a ton of energy to work out the way that you would normally, and because you're not being taught nutrition at the same time, are you fueling your body properly to burn body fat and not lose muscle mass? And one of the biggest side effects of being on Ozempic is, yes, weight loss, but you're going to lose a significant amount of muscle mass if you don't work to keep it. And again, I'm not going to say the person specifically in my life that I know that is on this, but I do have, like I said, somebody very, very close to me, and watching her through her weight loss journey, I'm very proud of her. Like, she has been committed, awesome. However, I've noticed all of the muscle mass that this lady once had is now gone. And that, of course, does even more metabolic damage, but it also puts you at risk for other diseases as you go forward in life. Bone health, heart health, balance, injuries as you get older, hip health, right? Stability, all of those things. So talk to your doctor about ways that you can make sure to protect your muscle mass as much as possible. Of course, from a personal training perspective and a nutrition coach perspective, I mean making sure that you are still strength training on a regular basis and still making your protein a priority. Making sure that you're still getting 1 to 1.1, because you are in such a caloric deficit, grams of protein per pound of body fat can really, really, really help make a difference with that. But regardless, because you're in such a deficit, you are going to lose muscle mass. So another thing to keep in mind. And then the other thing that I was thinking about also is, when you are in such a low deficit, what about mineral and vitamin deficiencies? Your body is tapping into itself to keep itself running as best it can, and that means draining calcium, using vitamin D more quickly, using vitamin K, vitamin C, using your electrolytes, right, for movement, for your heart health, as you are in such a crazy deficit. So make sure to take a multivitamin, and make sure you're still trying to keep as balanced diet as you can, with as many colors of the rainbow. So those are just the first things that come to mind. I know there are a lot of other side effects that are being looked into, but we just need more time at the end of the day. What I do hope comes out of this is the same thing that happens when anybody loses a lot of weight, that this hopefully could be the gateway to learning a healthier habit. So hopefully people look at this and go, I don't want to be on a drug for the rest of my life. This was just to help kickstart my health journey. And then they start using that as the gateway to learn about nutrition to fuel their body. They learn about fitness, and they gain confidence in themselves to maybe try new things. Going off of the machines at the gym, going into the dumbbell section of the gym, or the kettlebells or the barbells, or maybe you start looking like, hey, I've always wanted to rock climb, but I couldn't do that before. Start doing it now. Maybe you had knee issues before, but that you've lost weight, you now want to start trying to get more into running, because you guys know me, I love hybrid training. I think that cardio health is just as important as strength health. So maybe it opens the doors to more things moving and creating a healthy lifestyle as you go through this. But I really still think that only time will tell. But I do think it's interesting that these companies are already waving their white flag and going, all right, I guess we're going to stop teaching people naturally how to lose weight, and we're just gonna jump onto the pharmaceutical train with everybody else. And it's kind of sad, right? At the end of the day, my own business, I don't consider myself a weight loss coach or a diet coach. I want to help inspire women to get stronger, to build muscle mass, and to create a nutrition lifestyle that helps to support their goals. And then a lot of times burning body fat is just a great side effect of that, right? I've been doing this now for 20 years and it's a journey, but it's a journey that I would never change. Even though the results are a little bit slower, the results do come. So yeah, I promise you guys at the end of the day, it's worth it. Which, speaking about all this nutrition, one last thing before I hang up for the day is that if you are a woman like that, where you want to learn the healthy habits, you want to gain control of nutrition yourself, but you also want to fuel your workouts, you want to fuel your life, be on the lookout because I'm actually doing a Plan Smart Eat Real, which is my nutrition side of Fit Women's Weekly. I am doing a live nutrition coaching program starting September 25th. I have not, you guys are the first ones to hear about this. I have not announced it. Registration is not open yet, but I do want you guys to keep an open eye for it. With my Plan Smart Eat Real program, it is nutrition coaching. It is going to help you learn how to do macros. It's going to teach you how to track properly. And every single week I give a new meal plan. If you log onto my Instagram on Sundays and you see all the foods that I prep, I've been doing that for a couple of years now while I've been secretly creating my 3rd meal planning cookbook, which is what we are going to use for this program. So every week you'll get 5 different dinners, 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, 2 snacks/desserts to help you fuel for your week with a grocery shopping list. And then I'll also give you macro tips so that on the recipe, if you're like, oh, this is a little bit too high of carbs or too high of fat or too low of protein for me to hit my goals, every recipe has macro tips to help tweak it so that you can make it fit your nutrition plan. And I'll also help you with your nutrition plan for 8 weeks. So this is gonna be capped at around 100 women so that I can still make sure that I'm able to help you personally. And then every week I'm gonna go live with nutrition classes, teaching you what is so important about each specific macro, what can you carry on with you during this 8 weeks while you're working on maybe a particular goal, and then carry with you forever for creating healthy lifestyle goals. So I am really, really excited about it. Hopefully you guys will be too, but if you have specific questions, let me know. And here's a little insider secret, because you guys are podcast listeners. I'm actually gonna be putting out a free macro and meal planning cheat sheet over the next few days. And if you log in to get it, that'll put you on the early, or you'll have the option to go on the early bird list for the Plan Smart Eat Real live program, where you'll be able to get 30% off just being on the early bird list. So it's gonna be $187 for the 8-week program, which to me is still like an amazing deal. But if you're on that early bird list, you'll be able to get it for only $127 for all 8 weeks of personalized coaching, group accountability, group support, live coaching calls. Yeah. You guys, it's gonna be pretty amazing. So, oh, and even live cooking demos, answering questions as we go through it. So I'm pretty stoked about it. Hopefully you guys are too. And because at the end of the day still, I don't think that people are giving up on doing things in a way to learn, right? And I'm here to teach you. I love this. I wanna help you hit your goals through attainable ways to help you feel in charge by doing it this way. Right? I want to teach you like the healthy habits that work for you and that you can teach your family and your kids. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. All right, you guys, that's all we got for this week's episode. If you enjoyed this news article based breakdown, let me know. Like I said, I might do this about once a month, once or maybe twice a month, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell, and if you're listening to this on any other platform, make sure to subscribe, leave a testimonial, and then slide into my DMs. Let me know your feelings on all of this. And if you have any other questions, and I'll make sure I could always do a follow-up podcast. All right, you guys, bye.